Most of your SEO work right now is optimizing for a journey that doesn't exist anymore. And the ones who figure that out in the next 6 months will pull so far ahead that everyone else will be chasing them for years. Here's what changed. The mental model you probably still have. Someone types a keyword, clicks a blue link, lands on your page. That was real. That was 2018. The journey your actual buyer takes now is 5 steps long, and Google is only step 1. Walk through it with me. Step 1, Google. But not to click. People use Google now for orientation. They scan headlines, they read the AI summary, they figure out the shape of the category. Then they leave. They rarely commit to a page here, unless the query is extremely specific. Step 2, YouTube. Because they want to see the thing. Screenshots, demos, walkthroughs, video shows what text can only approximate. Step 3, Reddit, specifically. They type the query, then they add Reddit to it. Because they want opinions that aren't sponsored, aren't polished, aren't coming from a brand with something to sell. Reddit is the trust layer. Step 4, AI tools. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini. They ask something like, compare Notion and Coda for a team of 10. The AI compresses everything it's found across the web and hands back a synthesis. If your brand isn't present in the sources that AI has indexed, you are invisible at this step. Completely invisible. Step 5, branded search. Canva pricing, Figma alternatives, Slack reviews. This is the last search before a decision. This is the final meter. Now here's the critical thing. If you're only optimizing for Google, you are touching step 1 of a 5-step journey, which means even when SEO works perfectly, you rank, you get the impression, you get the click, you've only reached someone at the very beginning of their process. The sale is decided 3 or 4 steps later, in places you're probably not in. That's the central problem. Everything else we're about to cover is a consequence of it. Let's start with what AI overviews did to Google itself, because this is where most people panicked, and most people drew the wrong conclusion. Google's AI overviews now answer informational queries directly on the page. If someone searches, "What is a CRM?" they get an answer without clicking anything. Pages ranking positions 1 through 5 for those queries are seeing click-through rates drop 30 to 60%. Not because rankings dropped, because users never had to click. Here's the non-obvious insight. 88% of URLs cited by ChatGPT come from the general web index. Google ranking still matters, but GEO requires a different question. Not, can Google rank this page, but would an AI cite this specific sentence? Those aren't the same standard. And optimizing for citability, clear claims, standalone sections, specific numbers, cross-platform consistency across your G2 profile, your Reddit presence, your site. That's the new layer on top of traditional SEO. HubSpot saw this happen to them at scale. Their organic traffic fell sharply, but revenue didn't move. And once you understand why, everything clicks into place. The traffic they lost was definition-style keywords. What is inbound marketing? What is a CRM? People searching those terms weren't close to buying. They were at the very beginning of the education curve. HubSpot lost vanity traffic, not business traffic. A traffic number that drops without a revenue drop isn't a crisis. It's a signal. You were optimizing for the wrong thing. So, what's the right thing? What AI hasn't killed and cannot kill is the decision keyword. These are the queries that signal a choice is actively being made. Notion versus Coda for remote teams. Best project management tools for agencies. Figma alternatives for solo designers. Canva pricing reviews. These require real opinion, current data, actual user experience. An AI can summarize sources, but it can't replace genuine comparison content built from real use. I call this the decision gap. The space between what AI can answer and what it still can't. That gap is where your content needs to live now. But ranking in the decision gap still requires you to get the fundamentals right. And because of GEO, those fundamentals have gotten more demanding, not less. Start with search intent. Every keyword signals what someone is trying to do: learn, compare, or decide. Getting that backwards kills your ranking regardless of content quality. A page built for learning won't rank for a comparison query. Match the mode of the page to the mode of the search. Then, chunking. People don't read your page linearly. They jump to H2s. They scan. Search engines and LLMs do the same thing. They break your page into sections and pull the chunk that's most relevant to the query, which means every section of your page should be able to stand alone as a complete answer. If a section only makes sense in context of what came before, it is invisible to an AI trying to extract a citation. Then, crawling. A page with no internal links pointing to it probably won't get indexed. A page blocked by robots.txt has zero chance of ranking. These are table stakes, not advanced topics. But AI crawlers, Googlebot, GPTbot, Perplexitybot, all have different crawl behaviors. You can't assume that because Google finds you, AI engines do too. Now, backlinks. One link from a genuinely relevant, respected source, say a G2 roundup, a TechCrunch comparison, an industry blog that covers your category, outweighs 100 links from random directories. But here's the part that changes things for GEO. Unlinked brand mentions from respected sources also build authority and influence AI citation behavior. The web is talking about you in places that don't link back. That still counts. And that brings us to EEAT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. Google's framework for evaluating whether content is worth surfacing. And it maps almost perfectly onto what GEO requires. Show actual results. Use first-person experience. Write like someone who has done the thing, not someone who researched it. An AI summarizing the web will gravitate toward content that makes specific, citable claims backed by real experience. Vague content gets passed over. Specific content gets pulled. This is where Writesonic's Prompt Explorer shows you something most dashboards can't. You can type in a decision layer query, say, best tools for automating content briefs, and see which of your pages are being cited across ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, and which competitor pages are capturing those citations instead. That's not ranking data, that's citation share. And right now, most brands have no idea what theirs looks like. Once you know the gap, you can fix it. The fix has two parts: the page itself and the web around the page. The page. Content Agent rewrites underperforming sections for AEO. It adds FAQ schema, structures content into extractable chunks, and marks up the claims that are most likely to get pulled. You're not rewriting from scratch, you're restructuring for citability. The web around the page. Outreach Agent identifies high-authority sites currently citing competitors for your target queries, and drafts the outreach. Because sometimes you don't have a content problem, you have a coverage problem. The right third-party mention, on the right site, shifts the citation balance. Which brings us to how you scale this. Old approach: obsessively track rankings, optimize toward a specific position. New approach is signal first. Step 1, publish decision intent content, not definition content. Step 2, watch Google Search Console for impressions first. Impressions tell you Google is willing to surface your page. Step 3, watch average position. Is it moving? Step 4, then and only then, watch for clicks. Step 5, when a page performs, right structure, right intent tier, right quality bar. Make more pages that look exactly like it. That's how you scale. Not by producing more content, by producing more of the right content systematically, using the pages that are already working as the template. The buyer journey is 5 steps. Most of your competitors are only in step 1.